Guys, I bought beer last night and it's sitting behind me in my car right now. If this is going to be triggering for anyone who's sober, trying to stay sober, struggling to get sober, please just don't watch this video. My 1 year of sobriety is in 2 days and the monster is back on me to drink again. I think my hope for this video is just to be as honest as I can be about the way my brain's working in this specific scenario. In the scenario of someone who has a history with alcohol abuse, who identifies himself as an alcoholic, who's coming up on a milestone. My goal is to give you an insight into how my brain works, not give you guys an insight as to how I want my brain to work, but an insight on how it seems to be working. Does that make sense? So, with that being said, something like 10 days ago or so, I started to get that itch to get drunk again. A neighbor had a party going on. I mentioned this in another video, and it just looked good. You know, it looked good, and I've done pretty good this last year of recoiling from those instincts, because the end of my drinking this last time sucked. It was terrible. I was getting drunk 3 or 4 nights a week, and just going through physical problems, and it was impacting my relationship, my finances, my self-esteem, my safety, my workout, stuff like that. You know, I had all the reasons to get sober. Mentally, emotionally, I wasn't doing well at the end of my drinking this last time, so I got sober. And I've had cravings once since I got sober. I've been working a 12-step program. And, you know, as a lot of you know who've been sober for any amount of time or try getting sober, the mood is a fickle thing when you're trying to get sober, especially if you have a depressive tendency, which I do. I have an anxious, depressive tendency. I run a bit depressed kind of all the time, and then I can come out of that in stretches, but I'd say my overall disposition is a bit depressed, and then lots of rumination and stuff like that. Anyway, so, you know, I had some normal stressors come up over the last couple months, but I wasn't thinking about alcohol as a solution or anything like that. And then a neighbor of ours threw a big party in the front yard, and I just remember thinking, like, fuck yeah, like, that looks good. I want to get drunk. And so I examined that and tried to stay calm and stuck with my routines and stuff like that, but it kind of hasn't left me. And it's just been building and building and building. And in comes the internal conflict. And then my drug and alcohol counselor, I met with her a couple weeks ago, and we were talking about something else, and she said some words like, "You're not as nice as you think you are." And then I started spinning out of control, like, no, I don't think I am. I think I act like I'm nicer than I really am, and I act more polite than I really feel, and I want to be a people pleaser, and I want to make everyone feel good, and this is just where my brain goes. And so I was like, I think a part of me misses the monster of alcohol. I miss the chaos. I think I've come to a space, well, at least this is what my brain's telling me. Again, my goal is not to impress you. My goal is not trying to convince you of anything, okay? Listen carefully. I am not trying to manipulate or convince you of anything. I'm literally just trying to tell you exactly how my brain has been working. That's it. I have no intention behind this other than honesty, like as an interesting introspection into the way my brain works. But I was like thinking to myself, like, I'm tired of being, as the cravings got stronger, I'm tired of being responsible. I'm tired of doing the right thing. I'm tired of being present all the time. I'm tired of trying to live this good life of personal growth, financial growth, spiritual growth, blah, blah, blah. I just want to not give a fuck for a while. I just want to tune out and get wasted. It's part of who I am, and he wants to play. And I started trying to convince myself that that to be completely sober and reading every morning and praying every day and meditating every day and taking my supplements and doing my gratitude journal and working out every day and being on time and blah, just trying to like build myself up into this like this super responsible, uplifted, inspirational person I've been trying to be this last year or whatever. I was like, I don't think that's entirely genuine. I think there's still a part of me that's feels rude inside, feels lazy inside, doesn't give a fuck inside, who just wants to get drunk even though I'm not supposed to, even though I shouldn't. Who just wants to not be present, wants to check out, wants to not care anymore. And I think both of those things are in me. And that part I believe to be true. I can't be entirely sure of everything I'm thinking as to what's real, what's not, because as I've been told a lot by people in my leadership, you know, my brain in this state is pretty unreliable. My history is very clear. When I drink, eventually I start drinking too much, eventually it becomes a problem. And when I'm sober, things start getting better. But what I've realized is there's a difference between, I think I put too much expectation on sobriety. Well, sobriety has done a few things very clear cut. They've made my mental health overall more stable. The highs aren't as high as with drinking, but the lows aren't as low. They've definitely given me a chance to be more thoughtful with my recovery process with my mental health. As in, like, I can be more consistent with self-care and learning and reading and stuff, which lends itself really well to long-term wellness, which I do care about. Sobriety's been really good for my fitness and my physical health. It's been good for my marriage because I'm more present or whatever. But what it hasn't done is like eradicated this like grumpy, irritable, depressive person in me. Like that person, he's still there. And I'm starting to think he'll always be there. And I loathe that fact. And I don't know that he'll always be there, but I know the human experience. I think that's just part of life. And I think that was one of the things about drinking that I really appreciated, is that I could just check out from all of that. You know, it was just such an easy way to check out. But my issue was always that, yeah, I would check out, but I wanted to be able to check back into the responsible Noah, back into the and it never eventually got away from me. So I'm left in this fucked if I do, fucked if I don't situation that I'm in now. But I feel like I'm going to relapse. It feels exactly like I always felt before I relapse. About a year sober, this is about when I'm just suffocated by my sobriety. I'm tired of being sober. I'm tired of doing the right things. That little inner child in me wants to play. That little chaos inside that I've been suppressing so hard, he's still there. And I feel less genuine in my recovery, my sobriety, because I know that part of me is knocking. Now, what I need to decide is if I can hold out long enough to get some reason on this and play the tape through and make sure I really want to get sober, I really want to drink again, and what that might imply. There's a lot that I could lose. There is a lot I could lose. I've been thinking maybe I need to be on antidepressants. Maybe I need to accept that I've gotten close to maxing out what I can do to improve my mental health naturally, and maybe, you know, before taking another drink, maybe I need antidepressants. Seems reasonable. Maybe I just need to wait for this to pass. You know, my brain's been like telling me maybe I need to try to control my drinking through a different means. Maybe 12-step wasn't the right decision for me. Again, this is just how my brain's working. No actions have been taken. I'm still sober. But that's what I started reading a new book called The Naked Mind. Maybe I just need a different approach to the alcohol problem. Maybe the approach of complete sobriety and going to 12-step isn't going to work long term for me. So maybe I need to meet the right people, see the right person, read the right books, and try a new strategy. Maybe it's all bullshit, and I'm just trying to talk myself into drinking because I'm an alcoholic, and that's what alcoholics do. And maybe I'm just squirrely because I have a year sobriety and I don't like the pressure, and I'm used to tearing things down when I build them up. But I'm not doing well. I don't feel good at all. Very depressed, very ruminating. I mean, I literally had beer right back there. I mean, that's how close I am to it. And I'm not gonna lie, it sounds awesome right now to me. In spite of everything, it's like, that sounds fucking good. Like, I want to just watch basketball tonight and just get hammered and then get back to real world tomorrow. That's where my brain is right now. But I know that I need to be cautious because I have to live with the consequences, and there's a lot of people that count on me, and there's only one person that really matters, and that's my wife. And she's been cool. We've been talking. She knows where my head's at right now, and I like the way she's working with me. I'm trying not to manipulate her. I'm trying not to deceive her. I don't know. I'm just in a bad space, and it's crazy how fast that can happen because I didn't crave alcohol for like 5.5 months, not once. What else have I been thinking? I've kind of been thinking like same thing I thought last time before I relapsed. Like, well, I'm an obsessor, and I have to work through my rumination tendencies and my pure OCD tendencies. So if I'm not obsessing about drinking, I'm obsessing on something else anyway. So I was like rationalizing it that way. I was trying to look up stories of people who successfully went back to drinking, just like last time. That's what I did last time. So I was trying to find someone who like pulled it off, and maybe there's a way that I can pull it off, you know, because I miss it so much sometimes, and I'm thinking back on the good times and trying to ignore the bad. I'm binge eating like crazy. 5 days of massive binge eating. I think I ate myself sick. I got a sore throat, body aches, just don't feel good. I'm under a tremendous amount of stress because of this whole thing, and so my immune system's taking a hit. I've just been eating copious amounts of pasta, pizza, ice cream, donuts, puddings, just cakes and stuff like that. Just so much, burgers, burritos, just so much garbage. Just trying to eat myself okay, trying to push through this, get past this. I just saw my drug and alcohol counselor, and you know, she's just trying to help me see things clearly. She says I need to pray to a higher power of my understanding or lack of understanding, and ask the universe to relieve this obsession to drink right now, even if I believe it or not. So I think I'm going to do that, because I kind of don't want to, because I like the familiarity of this feeling. It's a strange thing. It's like, obviously, in the heat of my drinking, I was miserable the last time. I just was drinking too much, and there's no way that you can drink as much as I was drinking and not be robbed of good feeling, not be robbed of your sense of self, your productivity, your physical health, your emotional health. All that stuff goes away when you're drunk 3 or 4 nights a week, in my opinion, because you're hungover too much, you're just too disconnected. But at the same time, I still have like crazy instincts to like, don't lose this feeling. This is part of who you are, and it's familiar, and I miss it. You know, I miss the chaos, and so like I know what I'm supposed to do, but I have these instincts to ignore those things, because I you know, then I might not drink. But as I've learned this last year, obviously my life's a lot more stable, like a lot more stable. But two, when you don't feel like drinking, you don't feel like drinking. It's just like almost recovering from depression. When I'm depressed, like I can't imagine not feeling this way. But when you don't feel that way after, you know, eventually, it's not like you just don't feel that way anymore. So it's not like it matters per se that you no longer want to drink. There's nothing to guard. If you don't want to drink, then you won't be drinking. It's all good. Does that make sense? So, and then of course I definitely feel like, dude, like if you drink again, your YouTube audience is just gonna be like, are you fucking serious, dude? Like the back and forth is horrendous. I get sober, I get suffocated by recovery and sobriety, I drink, start drinking, things are good for a bit or whatever, I get suffocated by my choices drinking, I just go back and forth, and that just makes me feel really embarrassed and really, you know, ashamed, and I'm trying to be gentle and nice to myself. It's the strangest bit of emotions. I go from being like utterly hopeless to like, hey man, if you drink, it's all good, you're only human, to if you drink and your life blows up and you end up, you know, losing your marriage and stuff, fuck you. Like, if you don't drink, then you're not being your true self. No, it's just like, it's part of life and you want to experience it, and damn everyone, you know. It's like, I'm thinking so many things. It's just trying to rationalize, come to get some clarity, rationalize. It's a weird space to be in. It's a weird space to be in. Anyway, I don't know if I'll post this. I don't know if I'll post this. But can you see the flatness in my affect right now? This might be sad, but one of the biggest reasons I didn't drink last night was, one, my wife. She was so chill with me. I told her I wanted to drink, and she just wanted to talk with me about it. And she was like, so what do you think's gonna happen if you drink or whatever? I was like, oh, I'll just get drunk and just check out from the world like I'm craving. She's like, cool. She's like, I think tomorrow though you're gonna be really disappointed, and I think you're gonna be looking for the next opportunity to drink. And then, you know, she just helped me play the tape through enough to not drink for last night. So I love you, babe. Thank you for that. I appreciate you in my life. I'm lucky to have you. But another part of me is just like, this is vain, and I don't care. I don't give a fuck. But I'm so fit right now with CrossFit. Part of me like didn't drink because I love how fit I am and I don't want to lose my fitness. Like, it's impossible to be really fit and drink heavily, you know. So yeah, obviously if I got drunk like once every couple weeks or something, I don't think that would impact my fitness. But if I drank like I did before, it does. I can't perform like this, and I love performing like this. Okay, that's it. I have really valued my sobriety this last year. It's been really important. It has not all been bad. When I get in this space, I start trying to decide if it's really been worth it, and I start forgetting what really matters, and I get whiny and childlike and selfish and self-centered, you know, and that whiny, child, self-centered part of me just wants to not be a responsible adult, wants to ignore the reality of my situation, just wants to get drunk and just have fun, you know. But then the adult me always has to pay the price. So please stay sober if sobriety is important to you. And although right now I hope I drink in a lot of ways, I obviously very much have that other voice in me screaming just to hang in there, just to stay sober one more day, just in case, and see how we feel tomorrow. And so I've been doing that, but I'm walking a thin line at the moment. And I hope that gives you some insight into how my brain works, for better or worse. I didn't make this video so that anyone could tell me, yeah, I think drinking is a good idea for you. It's not what I want. It's not what I expect. I don't need you to fix me. I just wanted to share this in case I connect with someone. I think that's my main purpose on here. Wish me luck, guys. I'm in a weird space.